Imagine standing at the edge of an abyss, peering into an otherworldly realm where spirits and demons lurk, each with its own personality, knowledge, and power. The practice of demon summoning is one of the oldest and most controversial facets of Western occult tradition, and at the heart of it lies the mysterious Goetia. Welcome, Brothers Arcane, to the Dark Primordial. I'm your host, Ken Schroer, and today we're exploring the Ars Goetia, also known as the first book of the Lesser Key of Solomon, a guide to summoning and interacting with 72 infernal entities. Each of these spirits comes with a unique set of skills, influences, and dangers. But what does it mean to work with these entities? What ethical and spiritual questions arise from such practices? And why have occultists, mystics, and seekers turned to these practices for centuries? Light your incense, grab your favorite snack, and come with me as we explore the depths of Goetic demon summoning, examining its historical origins, rituals, ethical considerations, and how modern practitioners have adapted these age-old techniques.
The Goetia as we know it today is a product of the 17th century, but its origins trace back through centuries of magical and religious tradition, rooted in the practices of ancient Mesopotamia, early Jewish mysticism, and medieval ceremonial magic. To understand the Goetia, we need to go back to the stories of King Solomon, a figure shrouded in both religious reverence and mythical mystery. King Solomon, the son of David and ruler of Israel, is a legendary figure in Abrahamic traditions. Renowned for his wisdom, Solomon is credited with building the Great Temple in Jerusalem. But there's another side to his legend. Solomon is said to have possessed profound magical abilities. According to the Testament of Solomon, a pseudepigraphal text, likely written between the 1st and 5th century CE, Solomon was given a magical ring by the archangel Michael, a ring that allowed him to control demons and spirits. With this ring, he compelled these spirits to labor in the construction of the temple, forcing them to perform superhuman tasks and revealing their hidden names and weaknesses. The mythology of Solomon and his ring is central to the later development of ceremonial magic, and it served as inspiration for many grimoires that claim to carry the power of Solomon's magic. The Lesser Key of Solomon, which includes the Ars Goetia, emerged as a compilation of knowledge that was believed to have descended from those Solomonic traditions. This was part of a broader occult renaissance in medieval Europe, when practitioners began collecting and codifying rituals aimed at summoning, binding, and working with spirits. The Ars Goetia, the first book of the Lesser Key of Solomon, provides detailed instructions for summoning 72 demons, listing their names, ranks, powers, and the specific symbols, sigils, associated with each. These rituals weren't about simple curiosity. They reflected a profound belief in the magical hierarchy of the universe, a hierarchy in which demons, angels, and divine forces coexisted and interacted. The magician's task was to navigate this web of spiritual authority, positioning themselves as a figure capable of commanding demonic entities through the power of God. The term Goetia is derived from the Greek word goes, which means sorcerer, or one who howls. In ancient Greece, the term referred to those who practiced a form of necromancy or spirit invocation that was distinct from more accepted forms of divination. Goes were often seen as wielders of dark or forbidden magic, evoking shades of the dead or infernal beings. This reputation carried forward into the medieval era, coloring the perception of Goetic practitioners as those who dealt with the dangerous and often feared realms of spirit work. Medieval grimoires that described Goetic rituals often did so in ways that blurred the line between theology and magic. The concept of working with infernal entities was seen as transgressive, yet these texts also invoke the names of God, angels, and celestial powers to justify and sanctify the act of demon summoning. The paradox at the heart of Goetia lies in this interplay, utilizing sacred names to command the profane. This practice reflected a worldview deeply influenced by the tension between Christian piety and the desire for hidden knowledge, what we might today call forbidden wisdom. The influence of early Jewish mysticism cannot be overstated. Traditions like the Kabbalah played a role in shaping the foundational beliefs around summoning spirits and accessing hidden knowledge. The Kabbalists developed intricate systems of correspondences between the divine, the angelic, and even the demonic realms. The Shem HaMephorash, or the 72-fold name of God, is believed by some to correspond to the 72 demons of the Goetia. This linkage reveals how Goetic magic drew upon Jewish mystical ideas to create a framework in which each demon could be associated with a divine aspect, thus maintaining a complex interplay between light and darkness, sacred and profane. As we moved into the Renaissance, European scholars became increasingly fascinated by the writings of the ancient world, and there was a revival of Hermeticism, a philosophical system that merged elements of Greek, Egyptian, and Christian thought. It was during this period that the study of magic, alchemy, and astrology experienced a renewed vigor. Grimoires like the Ars Goetia became blueprints for those who sought power and wisdom beyond what was available through orthodox religious channels. The intellectual climate of the Renaissance, with its interest in the boundaries between science, magic, and religion, helped to legitimize the study of these texts, albeit often in secret. Figures like Johannes Trithemius, Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, and later John Dee contributed significantly to the occult traditions that would include Goetic magic. Agrippa's 3 books of occult philosophy became a cornerstone of Western occultism, synthesizing earlier magical traditions, angelic hierarchies, and demonological knowledge. Although Agrippa himself approached the topic with caution, his works inspired many later magicians to explore the Goetia more deeply. By the 17th century, the Lesser Key of Solomon was compiled, including the Ars Goetia as its first book. This collection was likely an amalgamation of older manuscripts that were passed down through generations of practitioners, each adding their own modifications and interpretations. The text's anonymous authorship suggests a lineage of secretive knowledge, safeguarded by those who practiced away from the prying eyes of religious authorities. The Goetia thus became a tool not just for summoning spirits, but for accessing the hidden dimensions of reality, granting practitioners insights and abilities that were seen as both divine blessings and dangerous temptations. Summoning a demon from the Goetia is not a casual undertaking. It involves a highly structured ceremonial process filled with ritual elements designed to create, contain, and direct powerful spiritual energies. Goetic rituals are as much about psychological preparation as they are about the physical setup. A precise blend of sacred geometry, symbols, divine names, and the practitioner's willpower. At the heart of a Goetic summoning ritual is the creation of a sacred space, defined by a circle that serves as a boundary between the mundane and the supernatural. The circle is inscribed with divine names, often in Hebrew, and it represents the magician's authority and the divine protection against any malicious force that might attempt to breach the practitioner's defenses. The use of sacred geometry and divine names is not just for aesthetic or symbolic purposes. Each line and each word is believed to carry immense power, reinforcing the magician's connection to higher spiritual realms. The magician's altar, typically set up within this protective circle, is filled with ritual tools that each play a vital role. Candles symbolize spiritual illumination and are placed strategically to represent elemental powers and guide the energy of the ritual. Incense is burned to create a sacred atmosphere, believed to attract spirits while also acting as an offering that makes the space more hospitable for the summoned entity. The wand or staff serves as an extension of the magician's will, used to direct energy during the ritual. One of the most iconic tools in Goetic magic is the brass vessel, sometimes referred to as the spirit pot. According to the Lesser Key of Solomon, the brass vessel was originally used by King Solomon to confine disobedient spirits, binding them until they agreed to serve his purpose. This vessel is often inscribed with divine and magical symbols, and may be used in modern practices as a containment tool for summoned entities. Outside the protective circle, the practitioner draws the triangle of manifestation, a key element in the summoning ritual. This triangle is usually inscribed with divine symbols and names and serves as the designated area where the demon is to appear. Unlike the magician's circle, which is designed for protection, the triangle is meant for containment. It's a boundary that marks where the summoned entity is to be restricted. The very act of compelling the spirit to appear within this triangle reflects the practitioner's assertion of control and command over the infernal realm. Sigils are another crucial element of Goetic summoning. Each of the 72 demons listed in the Goetia has a unique sigil, a kind of spiritual signature that encapsulates the essence and power of the entity. The magician carefully inscribes the sigil on parchment or metal, focusing on the intent of the summoning. The sigil acts as a link between the material and the spiritual, allowing the practitioner to hone in on the specific energy of the demon they wish to summon. This sigil, often drawn with ritualistic precision, serves to bridge the gap between the physical and the spiritual planes. The process of summoning involves elaborate conjurations, invocations, and prayers, calling upon the spirit by name, demanding or coaxing its presence. These invocations often make use of divine names, angelic hierarchies, and sacred language, all to establish the magician's authority over the demon. These names are considered to be keys that unlock the barriers between the material and the spiritual realms. The conjurations can be both evocative and coercive, sometimes calling upon the demon to appear by praising its abilities, while other times invoking divine wrath to ensure the spirit's compliance. An essential aspect of Goetic summoning is the mental and emotional state of the magician. The summoning process requires intense focus, unwavering will, and a controlled emotional state. The magician must be able to assert authority without fear or doubt. Any hesitation could weaken the boundary between themselves and the summoned entity. In traditional grimoires, there are stern warnings about the dangers of losing concentration or showing weakness during the ritual. Demons, by their nature, are thought to test the resolve of the summoner, and any lapse in discipline can lead to unintended consequences. The knowledge of each demon's attributes, personality, and power is integral to the summoning process. The Ars Goetia meticulously details the hierarchy of demons, their ranks, and their specific abilities. Some spirits are known to grant knowledge of the natural world. Others can reveal hidden truths, influence human emotions, or even provide guidance in the material realm, such as finding lost objects or revealing hidden treasures. Understanding which spirit to summon for which purpose is part of the magician's expertise. This knowledge also informs how the practitioner approaches the ritual, whether they summon with demands, negotiations, or even offerings. Once summoned, the interaction with the demon can vary depending on the practitioner's approach. In traditional Goetic rituals, the magician often attempts to bind the demon to their will, using divine threats if necessary. Binding is not simply about coercion. It's also a protective measure to ensure that the summoned entity does not act against the magician. The language used in the binding process is assertive, calling upon the authority of God, angels, and even the names of the 4 cardinal archangels: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. This divine backing is what gives the practitioner the perceived power to command and control the spirit. However, modern interpretations of Goetic rituals often differ significantly from their medieval predecessors. Some contemporary practitioners, influenced by traditions such as Chaos Magick, adopt a cooperative stance rather than a confrontational one. Instead of binding the demon through threats, they establish a dialogue, offering respect, veneration, or symbolic offerings to gain the entity's favor. This shift from coercion to negotiation reflects broader changes in how spirits and the act of summoning are understood today. In these modern practices, the focus is not on subjugation, but on mutual benefit, with the demon seen more as an ally than a servant. At the very heart of Goetic summoning lies the intricate use of sigils and seals, symbols that embody the essence of the demons invoked and the divine authority wielded by the magician. These symbols are not mere decorations. They are powerful tools that act as conduits for spiritual energy, facilitating communication and control in the summoning process. The term sigil is derived from the Latin word sigillum, meaning seal or sign. In the context of Goetic magic, each demon possesses a unique sigil, a symbolic representation that encapsulates its character and power. These sigils are often intricate, featuring elaborate geometric designs that serve multiple purposes. They act as keys to summon the entity, a focus for the practitioner's intent, and a representation of the spiritual essence of the demon. According to the Ars Goetia, there are 72 demons, each with its own sigil. These sigils are carefully constructed according to specific rules and principles believed to influence their efficacy. Traditionally, a sigil is drawn during the summoning ritual, and the magician often meditates upon it, directing their will toward the demon. This practice connects the physical act of drawing with the metaphysical goal of invoking the spirit. The energy imbued into the sigil during its creation is believed to facilitate the manifestation of the demon in the triangle of manifestation. Each sigil is thought to resonate with the specific energy of the corresponding demon, acting as a spiritual address that the magician can call upon. The act of drawing the sigil is not merely a formality. It is an act of creation, a moment when the practitioner shapes their intent and focuses their will into a tangible form. This process highlights the intersection between art and magic, where intention and creativity become the medium through which spirits are summoned. In addition to sigils, the Solomonic seals play a vital role in Goetic magic. These seals, inscribed with divine names and symbols, represent the authority of God and serve to control the demons summoned. The seals act as a counterbalance to the sigils, establishing a protective framework within which the practitioner operates. While the sigils embody the nature of the demons, the seals embody the higher, spiritual forces that the magician invokes for protection and command. The Solomonic seals originate from ancient texts and mystical traditions, including Kabbalistic and Hermetic teachings. These seals are carefully inscribed with divine names, often derived from Hebrew scripture, such as the Tetragrammaton, Yahweh, and other angelic hierarchies. The presence of these seals in the ritual underscores the magician's reliance on divine authority, demonstrating that, while engaging with the infernal, the practitioner is also invoking the protective powers of the celestial realms. The use of sigils and seals is steeped in the tradition of sigilization, which dates back to ancient civilizations. From the seals of Babylonian priests to the mystical symbols used in the Kabbalah, the practice of using symbols as a means of connecting with the divine or the supernatural is a long-standing tradition. Kabbalists, for example, employed various forms of sigils and geometric diagrams to access spiritual dimensions and engage with divine forces. while traditional practitioners emphasize the need for precise replication of sigils and seals. Contemporary approaches have diversified significantly. Many modern magicians, particularly those influenced by Chaos Magick, advocate for personalization and creativity in sigil creation. In this context, a sigil can be tailored to reflect the practitioner's individual intent, beliefs, and aesthetics. The act of summoning becomes a deeply personal ritual, where the practitioner may modify traditional sigils to reflect their unique relationship with the demon, or their personal interpretation of its attributes.
The practice of Goetic demon summoning is as alluring as it is perilous. It promises power, wisdom, and transformation, but it also carries significant risks, both spiritual and psychological. The ethics of working with these entities, the complexities of the rituals, and the diverse approaches of traditional and modern practitioners all reveal a deeply personal path that requires both caution and courage. For those who dare to walk this path, the Goetia is a key that opens the door to hidden realms where demons are not merely sources of fear, but also bearers of incredible potential. Whether approached with respect or the intention to dominate, the Goetia continues to challenge and inspire those who seek to summon the Infernal. If you found this video enlightening, please like, subscribe, and share with others who might be interested in exploring the fascinating and often controversial world of Goetic magic. Also, consider supporting the Dark Primordial by visiting our Etsy and Shopify stores. There you'll find a curated selection of handcrafted witchcraft and pagan accessories to enhance your own spiritual practice. From hand-poured candles to intricately painted talismans, each item is imbued with intention and power. Until next time, may you become one with your own abyss.